In this video lesson we'll be looking at taproot modifications, and it's part one, and we'll be looking at what are called fleshy taproots. So what are the key features of such roots? The most important feature is that why is it fleshy? It's fleshy due to storage of food. Of course, the plant stores food for a variety of reasons, including for usage in unfavorable conditions, for a lot of metabolic purposes like that. The second point about this kind of fruits is that they are not found in the region of the hypocotyl. They are not found in the region of the hypocotyl. TUIL. Another important point is that such fleshy roots may have secondary roots coming out, and such secondary roots are usually very thin, and they look like threads. Another interesting feature about such food storing roots is that there are conditions in which there could be some reduced stem. I mean the root part may be connected to a reduced stem and some radical leaves. Of course, these two features are not quite usual in fleshy taproots. So we can go into some particular cases. And the first case we are dealing with is what is called conical fleshy taproots. And as the name indicates, let me draw something like this. You hear the shoots coming out, the shoot part comes. Of course, most of you would have guessed from the diagram itself what I am referring to. It's a carrot. So the conical means it looks like a cone, and that means it's thickest towards the base. Now a very important point to note here is that the base actually is not the lower portion. So, the base actually is here refers to the portion which is near the surface of the soil. So in the sections which I will be covering later, please note that base means that it's not a lower part; it's a part which is at the surface of the soil. So this is what is called the conical taproot modification. Second case we are going into it is what is called the fusiform. And as the name itself indicates, you are dealing with some kind of a fused kind of look. I mean, there are different examples to it, and I mean, a good case is good example is radish, and of course here there is a slight differentiation in the case that, I mean, in the case of the Indian radish, I mean, it's like, it's something like a carrot. I mean, of course, I'm drawing it at an angle, something like a. So here you can see that a considerable length is shown. So that's a case of Indian radish, but in the case of what is called the English radish, you have a typical solent part and a kind of root system going from it. So this is the Indian case, and this is what is called the English radish. So the radish is a typical example of the fusiform case where the root is very thick at the middle. So you can see that I mean, if you take the entire root, it's the middle portion which is very thick, and naturally towards the apex and base. This here the base is this portion, and the apex here. So towards the apex and base, it narrows. So the third case we are going into is what is called the tuberous. Now the tuberous is quite interesting in the sense that I mean the fleshy root modification is without a particular shape. So you have something like yeah, this could be I mean, no, the plant is going up from it. So you have the roots storing food and becoming solemn, but there isn't a particular shape which we can which can be used to describe the particular root. And a good example is here you can of course in tuberous system you can see that and at this portion, I mean at the base portion where the shoot connects to the particular root, there could be a thin portion. I mean at this portion, this location there could be a thin portion, but otherwise the entire thing is thickened. And a very good example is a plant mirabilis gelat. Of course, I'm sure that a lot of you would be knowing it as, I mean, there's a plant which we see in the courtyard in the backyards, and which flowers at a particular times. Now, on one very famous case, what is called 4 o'clock plant. So that belongs to the mirabilis. So that's about the tuberous. And before winding off this particular section, we had to look at one more case. There is what is called the napiform. The key feature about the napiform modification is that actually it looks like a top. Top that it looks like a top, and one example is the turnip. And in the case of turnip, you have to note that the solent part is the hypocortical. The second example is the beetroot. And it's a very interesting case in the sense that here the solent part is formed both by the taproot plus the hypocortical region. So these 4 are the important variations as far as fleshy taproot modifications are concerned. So let's have a look at some particular cases. We have a case of carrot where, as you can see, it's something like it's a conical shape, and you can see that the thickest part is towards the base, and as I already mentioned in the particular lesson now, the base region is a spot. That's a part which is near the soil surface, and it's this part is what is called apex. So this region is the apex, and this portion is the base end. So it can be easily discerned that the whole fleshy part looks like a cone. In this case, we are looking at is a beetroot, and beetroot is a classical case of what we call a napiform modification. As you can see here, in the case of the beetroot, the swollen part is actually the hypocortical plus the taproot. So that's a very important point, and you can see that the taproot section is coming out very abruptly, and of course on the upper portion, that's the basal region, it's quite flattened out. And so beetroot is a classical case of napiform modification. We are going on to the case of the Indian radish, and radish, as I already mentioned, is a fusiform modification, and there are two types which we are looking into. In the case of the Indian radish, only the base, this portion is made up of the swollen hypocortical, and so that's an important point we have to note as far as Indian radish is concerned. And the next case we are going into is the turnip. The turnip actually is a modification which is called it's called the napiform. It's a napiform modification, and of course we can see that the napiform case, it looks like a top, and the important point of the napiform modification is that in this particular case, you can see, the swollen part, this part is the hypocortical. So the important part about napiform modification is that there's a very abrupt ending at the apex, which you can discern at this point. The swelling just stops at the bottom part, and bottom part in this case is the apex, and this portion is the apex, and this portion is all is called the base, which that's something which I already mentioned in the lesson. So the next case we are going into is English radish. It's quite different from the Indian radish in the sense that the basal half, that's this portion. The basal half is is actually the hypocortical, and the apical half is a enlarged taproot. You can see that a root system is coming out of here, and that's a taproot system, and so it's more swollen and quite more thickened than the Indian radish. It's quite that feature makes it more discernible. And the last case we are looking into in this particular video is a case of the mirabilis,